Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I never appear with my glasses on and they probably need a bit of a clean. So I thought I'd actually come on and with my glasses on. I've been out today. I've got a very sort of thin layer of foundation on. And I've also got another colour chameleon on. So I am going to take all this off because, as you know, we had some votes for the Golden Goddess or the Bombshell. And so you were all voting on Instagram, and also I had some of my personal friends on Facebook voting as well. And so I had to add those results, but it didn't actually change the result. It just made it a bit more conclusive. So basically you opted for the Bombshell. And so in readiness, I have painted my nails red to go with the lipstick. And so I'm just going to, I'm not going to take this foundation off because it's not actually that heavy. I'm just going to put a little bit more over the top because for the Bombshell look, you do definitely need sort of a little bit more foundation, I think. I'll take this eyeshadow off, which is Colour Chameleon in Dark Pearl, so that I can put on another Colour Chameleon, as you know. So I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so a little tip. When you're topping up foundation, as I am, really good one to use is a stick foundation. Any stick foundation. I've got the Tarte clay stick foundation. It's like the Amazonian clay one that I reviewed a while back, but you can then just sort of dot that around, and it's just a bit easier than topping it up with anything else. And then I'm going to take the Real Techniques setting brush, expert face brush. Now I'm sorry, I forgot. I haven't forgotten. I'm going to post it later. I forgot to put the details of the set that I was talking about that has come out from Real Techniques. And I might have just been tempted to get a set. Had it not been for, one, I've already got the brushes. And two, Charlotte's coming out with Pillow Talk next week. And that's what I want to get. That's my priority. And I don't need any more brushes. Being sensible, girl. I can be sensible when it comes to Real Techniques, but not when it comes to Charlotte. Okay, so that's one way. I'm just going to dab a little bit more because I swiped and I want to dab over the hyperpigmentation. Now, this set that I was telling you about, just to show you, they are my favourite brushes, and they are a lot of people's favourite brushes, which is why they've brought them out together in a set, because before you could only either get them individually or in different sets with other things that you might not want. So this is the expert face brush, I think it's called. I think it's that one. There's another one that's very similar. They're both just as good. Then there's the blush brush, which I love for putting powder on. It's really soft and it doesn't apply too much product. It just applies powder really evenly. Then there's the expert concealer brush. I'll put Magic Away on with this actually in a minute to show you. Then there is the setting brush. And I've got two of these because I love them. They're really good for setting powder, setting under your eyes. Fantastic brush. And then the expert crease brush. So you know when you're putting on, I'll use this as well actually. You know when you're putting on Colour Chameleon or you're putting on a cream shadow and you want to buff it in. There's nothing to beat this. Really, really good. And so those are all the 5 that are coming in a set. The other thing that I've just seen, because I was looking it up to do the link for you guys, is, you know, the sponge, I don't know what they call it. It's not Beauty Blender. They call it something else. Beauty Blender? No, that's me. If any of you, like me, dampen your beauty blender out in the sink in the bathroom, and you keep it in there. They've brought out a little holder that looks actually like white marble that sticks to the tile. Definitely want one of those. And you put your beauty blender in it by the sink. And it's great to annoy your other half with. Oh, what's all this makeup stuff now? It's in the bathroom. Okay, so that's that. And now I'm going to... He doesn't talk like that, but we just like to tease. Magic away. Now, someone was asking me, I haven't had a chance to reply to you yet, because I'm doing this video. So you're going to get a reply on here as well. Was asking about shade 5. I ordered it on Thursday before 1 o'clock, and they didn't dispatch it until Friday, even though I paid for next day delivery, because it's nearly as much as waiting for 2 to 3 days. So I emailed them and said, what's going on? I ordered this before the cut-off, and I'm now not getting it till Monday. I haven't checked actually if they've replied. They may have replied, but we shall see. But so yeah, I'm getting it on Monday, to cut a long story short. And I will let you know. I do like this because it looks natural, but I just think for days that I really want to brighten underneath, and because I don't think Mini Miracle Eye Wand goes very nicely over the Magic Away, I want to see if a lighter one will work. And as I said, I can always either mix it, or I've got a family member who's got similar skin tone but is a little bit fairer than me, so I know that I can give it to her if it doesn't work for me. Now, do you see how that Expert concealer brush really blends it in no time? Look at that. Okay, and I'm just gonna... I don't regret buying shade 6 at all. Because it is so good, and because it's such a good coverage, I just want to have the option of... I've never done that with a retoucher, but to have the option of having a lighter shade. Because also this one is good for blemishes on my face, whereas a lighter shade won't be. So going for the one that's a lot lighter is going to be better for under my eyes, and this one will be better for my face. And also, as I become fairer, this might be a bit too dark for me. And I don't want something darker under my eyes, that's for sure. Anyway, I'll update you on that, whether or not it's too light, because, as I say, it doesn't just apply to me. That will apply to all of you. Like, what is the suggested shade and the shade below it good for? Because it should be quite consistent. Right, so that's my concealer done. I'm just going to blot it, as I always do. And then I shall take my setting brush and use Charlotte's Magic Powder. I will take all these things out of the box. I do eventually with some of these things. I just like keeping them in the box. Don't know why. So let's take some of this and move it this way. That's definitely working for me, guys. Is doing it that way because it gets the powder in the creases more, and therefore if you get the powder into the creases more, into the lines, then it's less likely to crease. And as I said, I keep wanting to, it's only fair to credit Sari Rihanna with that tip. It was not my tip. I would never I'd always want to credit whoever I've got that from. She may have got it from someone else, of course, but no. It definitely works. Okay. Right, now the next thing that Charlotte does in her tutorial, which I did watch this morning, is she puts on her brow product, which she uses her, what does she call this? Brow lift. She doesn't use a supermodel, although you can do. So, let me use the brow lift. So, first of all, I just sweep up my brows. And I think because this is quite... because it's about smoky eye and a red lip, I think the brows are quite important. You know, some days I'll skip my brows or just wipe off the excess foundation that's gone on them. But for some looks, I think you do need to do them. I must stop doing that. You know when you say, when I start talking and I go, you do need... Right, and I do that. When I'm editing it, it drives me crazy because when I stop talking, I can speed through it. But I'll go, and you need, and then I'll do a bit more, and then it just makes it really difficult to edit. So, note to self, stop doing it. Hello, Giacomo. How are you?
Good.
What do you think of my brows? They don't look manly today, do they?
No.
Do you like his chain, guys? Tell him what it is.
No.
Okay. Don't tell him what it is.
It's from my favorite show, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. And it's called what was it again?
It's called a Millennium Item.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the brows done. Just checking. It's that one, isn't it? Let me just check. Yeah, it's a little bit short. Let me just check this one. That's the one that's definitely shorter. So just to remind you, you put a pencil from the bottom of your nose to where your eye ends, that corner there, and that's where your brow should stop. Okay? And for those of us of my similar age to me that used to pluck your eyebrows a lot, not eyes, when you were younger, we often used to get rid of the M ones and they never grew back. So that's how to do it. So it's a line from there to the corner of your eye all the way up, and that's where it should end. Okay, now I'm just going to sharpen this. I'm going to need one of these soon. Amber Haze, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the Bombshell uses the colour Chameleon in Amber Haze, which you can see has been very well loved. And let me just do this before I start putting eyeshadow on top of it. I should have set that with powder, shouldn't I? But it doesn't matter because I'm going over it now with colour Chameleon. So you can literally scribble this on very roughly, doesn't matter, as long as you make sure. I would blend out each eye before moving on to the next, because what you don't want is for it to set before you've blended it, or you'll end up looking like that. And this brush, as I said, this is the deluxe crease brush from Real Techniques is really good at buffing this in. And the set is called something like your Essentials, Everyday Essentials set, I think it's called. And at the moment, I looked on Boots, it's not in stock at the moment online, but it is in stores. And the reason I know is because I saw Pixie Woo Sam in Boots, and she said, look, here's my brushes, so yeah, there you go. And then the other one, do you know, I had to check then, because in this light it's looking very khaki, and I do have a couple of green colour chameleons, but this is definitely amber haze. I thought I put the wrong one on. This is recommended for brown eyes, but obviously it's part of the Bombshell look, so you can use it on any eye. It doesn't mean that you've got to have brown eyes to wear the Bombshell look. I think it's pretty much a universal colour. And as you can see, I buff it in and then I go back in and add a little bit more. And these do layer very well if you want to kind of intensify. What Charlotte does on her... I'm chatting a lot today, aren't I? What Charlotte does a lot on her tutorials is the evening look with this. She kind of says, right, and when, you know, when she does it up for the evening, she basically puts another layer on. And I've also seen what she does is at the end she goes back and she lines it there so that if any of it's buffed away, it's not buffed away from next to your lids. And then I go underneath. Now, what she did on her tutorial, I'm doing in a different order. And I've just realised, when she does this look on her tutorial, I'll put the link to her tutorial underneath. She's done a couple of them. She puts the feline flick on first. And I didn't do that. And that might be better. It might glide better over bare skin than the colour chameleon. Too late now. Right, so the next thing is, as I said, the feline flick. So I just went underneath and I'll just blend that with my finger. This is a really easy look, the Bombshell look. And saying that, I'm about to do what might be the hardest part of it. I'm just going to move this back so I can steady my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm now going to do the feline flick as best as I can, remembering that I am a hoodie. And when you're a hoodie, you do have to kind of adapt the flick a bit. I'm not going all the way to the end at the moment, because if you do, when you're a hoodie, if you look, you see the natural line of my eye goes down anyway. If you do that, it's going to make your eyes droop. I don't want to accentuate that bit, okay? That's why I'm not going all the way out. Okay, now what I do, Charlotte does this thing about putting a dot, and it's really difficult for hoodies. What I do is I use the inside of my eye as a guide, and I draw up from there first. From that corner, from the inside, and then I draw up the line there. And if you look, I'll just show you. If I do this, and you think, wow, Ali's doing a massive wing today. Now look, that's what happens with hoodies. Okay, it looks like you're doing a massive wing, and actually when you relax your eyes, it's not. And then I'm just going to link that up. So I didn't go to the edge here. I started to move it up as she does, 3/4 of the way up. But it's not going to look like a massive wing on my eye. And to be honest, I don't care, as long as it's a little flick. So I call it the feline tick rather than the feline flick. Okay, that was just something I came out with when I was following one of Charlotte's tutorials. So if you're a hoodie, well, certainly for me, I do a feline tick rather than a feline flick. So let me do the other one. And also the other thing is, you can imagine, if you've got your brow in position, if you imagine that you're drawing a line from there up to the end of your brow so that you get a good angle. Itchy nose. Right, and now you can see they're not straight at all. So let me rub that off. And look again at this eye. And I didn't actually draw that as much, so it was going up there, but I'll just adjust that. That's better. Right. Don't worry about this, because as you can see, can't see it once you relax your eyes. That's the advantage of being a hoodie. You don't have to get your line straight at the corner, because it doesn't matter. You can't see it anyway. As long as you get that little flick at the end, doesn't matter. And then you want to join it up a little bit at the bottom, otherwise it will look a bit silly. And I'm afraid I'm not the best at doing this, but that's because of my eye shape. I can do this really well on my niece and other people that are not got hooded lids, but it's to do with the eye shape. Okay. Right, and as you can see, my eyes are starting to water. I'm just going to blow my nose and relax them for a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the next thing, when you're doing the bombshell look, do not be shy of contouring, okay, because it's part of the whole look. Okay, so I've got Charlotte's Bronze and Glow in light to medium, which is here. Okay, very well loved and still going strong. Suck in the cheeks and follow the hollow. Now, because I've just got cream foundation on there, that may not look very well blended. But don't worry, because when I go over to bronze at the end, that's when you can blend out those lines if it's not blended very well. Okay. Right, now I'm going to take my setting brush and I'm going to use that to sculpt my nose. And little tip from Pixie Woo the other day, I think it was I'm sure it was Pixie Woo, I think it was Nikki. She said if you've got a short nose, of course it makes sense. Never thought about this before. You know, I've talked to you about when you've got a short face, then don't do it at the top because you'll shorten your face. She said if you've got a short nose and you want to lengthen it, then don't do your contour at the bottom. And I haven't been doing that since she said it, and I prefer it. It does actually give me a bit more of an elongated nose. If you've got a very long nose and you want to shorten it, then by all means, if you do that, then you can almost sort of can cheat it to be even shorter by putting the contour just a little bit further up rather than in here. Okay? And don't forget to get into these angles here, because otherwise it won't look natural what you're doing. It'll look like you've got two lines, because if you look at the shadow, sometimes I look down and I look where the natural shadows are. If you study the natural shadows in your face, that's what you're doing. You're accentuating the natural shadows in your face. You're not putting shadows where they wouldn't already be. You're creating more accentuated shadows where they already are, and making them less noticeable where you don't want them, like this shadow here, so that my nose looks a bit longer. Okay, right, and now the highlighter. So I'm just doing, again, don't be shy girls, this is the Bombshell. It's called the Bombshell for a reason. And we can be over 40 and be bombshells, you know. And I'm going to just lift the eye. I'm going to dab some of the highlighter from the Film Star Bronze and Glow onto my upper lid and in the inner corner. Tell you what I wanted to ask you. I have found, you may have seen this, there is a dupe for Film Star Bronze and Glow called Hollywood Bronze and Glow by a company called W7. I think they sell in, oh, I can't remember now. They sell somewhere, but anyway, they also sell them on Amazon. And this Hollywood Bronze and Glow looks, they've made the packaging look similar enough so that you know what it's copying. And it costs £3.49 on Amazon. And I've had it in my basket. I just don't know whether to test it. Obviously £3.49 is not splurging. Let me know if you want me to do a comparison and see how it compares to the real McCoy, because obviously this is £49. Having said that, it's lasted me for 2 years, so again, it's not about necessarily the outlay, it's about how long it's going to last you, and it definitely lasts. Let me know if you want me to buy it on Amazon for £3.49. I can always give that away as well. There's always people that are prepared to take makeup off me in my family. Okay, so that's that. I will save the blush till last, as Charlotte does. And next we're moving on, so it's a bright red lip, Marilyn Monroe lip, which gives you a clue as to the lipstick we're going to be using. But first of all, I'm going in with Kiss and Tell. You'll always see me fast forwarding through my lips because I can't talk when I'm doing my lips. Okay, now, so Marilyn, I might put this on and fast forward as I'm doing it. I might put this on with a lip brush, because I do think when you're doing the red lipstick, it's worth taking your time a little bit and putting it on precisely. So I just get my lip brush from Charlotte Tilbury and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not very good at using lip brushes because I get impatient.
No! It was at this moment that he
You know what?
deleted
Because my Bitch Perfect lipstick has got a faulty top, I put it in a box that says So Marilyn. And it's not So Marilyn. I'll be right back. Okay, I now have the right lipstick. So Marilyn. Which is why I put this nail varnish on. It does need another coat, but I wanted it to dry properly. I got the nail varnish free in a magazine this week. I've forgotten the name of the maker of the nail varnish and I've forgotten the name of the magazine. I'll let you know in a minute. Okay, I'm going to blot it slightly, and then for the finale of the lip anyway. And Red Vixen. This is really nice on its own. It's really pigmented. So glam. And finally, I am going to put on, I'll put it on with the Real Techniques brush. See what that looks like. Her blush. This goes with the Bombshell look called Sex on Fire. So I swish around the side. And I always swish for both sides first to make sure that it's even before I pop. Just my thing. No one's told me to do that. Just my thing. And then pop. And the pop in the middle is quite pigmented and always makes you look very flushed. You might want, if you have got rosacea or you suffer from redness on the cheeks, this might not be the blush for you, or if you do get it, it does look lovely, but what I would do is just go easy and use this blusher brush because it is very good at controlling the amount. Okay, I'm gonna, little trick, just brings a look together. Very, very subtly, just sweep it very lightly. You can even do this and just this because it's kind of it's like a bronze look. Okay, now with the bronzer, I'm going to go over because I just want all of that to be blended a bit better. Okay, Charlotte's bronzer brush, and I'm now going in with the bronzer, and what that will do is just blend everything together. I didn't sculpt under my chin again, did I? I'll do that now. Got to sculpt under my chin because otherwise I just have my double chins. And sorry, but I just want some more highlighter I don't know why I'm saying sorry. So there you have it. The bombshell look. Okay, I'm going to edit out all the other 3 goodbyes I've done and PPSs and everything, because I suddenly thought, surely this is a time to make the effort to put my false eyelashes on. Now, don't ask me for a tutorial because I'm very, very green at putting eyelashes on. There's only really, I haven't worn them a lot, and the only time that I ever had to put them on stage was when I had to make myself up as an aging prostitute who was very poor, so they didn't actually have to look very neat. So yeah, anyway, but this is the look with some eyelashes. So I thought the bombshell definitely calls for eyelashes. I hope you like these. These are number 4 by MAC. I actually went into MAC and I asked them if they could recommend some that would suit my hooded lids. And then I said, if I was to buy them, would you trim them down for me and put them on and give me a bit of a lesson? So she did that, and of course now I know which ones to get, and I've got these to use to trim down a new pair. So I definitely recommend doing that if you're not sure, as I wasn't, never sure how much to trim them. Get them to do it for you, and then keep them and use them as a template for the next ones. So MAC number 4. Alright, take care. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday.
Okay,
take care.
Should I
Bye bye.
drop my AR for attack?